how Instagram changed the face of the world. I literally work on Instagram, so hooray. Let's see.
If one trend of 2023 shows how far we've fallen, it was the Barbie Botox. Named after the toy's signature long neck, the procedure spread like wildfire on Instagram after the release of the film. A series of injections to the trapezius muscles in the neck renders them unable to contract, which lowers your shoulders and makes your neck look slightly longer. Despite the risk of muscle paralysis and severe pain, thousands of people rushed out to get this hot new treatment. But this is a very recent phenomenon. No one did this in the past. No movie made people do this kind of thing. You see, the plastic surgery industry has been booming for years off the back of Instagram and TikTok. Invasive procedures go in and out of fashion every month, as a young impressionable audience goes from one insecurity to another, fed to them by Instagram's algorithm. Meanwhile, celebrities and influencers work hand in hand with the industry, making promotional posts and boasting about their procedures and the results. As new procedures dip in and out of fashion, influencers target people's mental weaknesses and make a fortune.
Yes, I did that. And you would do it too for a check.
Is growing fastest among young adults looking to replicate the inhuman perfection they see on the app. It's time we really expose how Instagram is quite literally changing the face of the world. Like the Kardashians. They were unique among celebrities at the time because they truly offered nothing except for their image and their lifestyle. Coming to fame in 2007 after her viral sex tape, Kim and the gang went on to hold their 15 minutes of fame and stretched it out over multiple decades. Kim and her family's signature look exploded onto modern culture and still has an effect on beauty standards today. The modern world's obsession with full lips, big butts, and stenciled eyebrows is in large part thanks to them.
Crazy.
Of course, the image they sold.
Ew, this is so cringe.
First, as you can probably guess, there's all the cosmetic surgeries and procedures they've gone through to get there. Then countless layers of makeup, professional photography, and Photoshop are added on. But out of thousands of those photos, only a select few are chosen to be shown to the public. Before the rise of social media, this kind of deception was only available to the rich and famous. Even their own influence alone has a huge effect on the cosmetic surgery industry. When a 17-year-old Kylie Jenner boasted of getting lip fillers to achieve her signature look, online searches for the procedure went up by over 3,000%. The so-called Brazilian butt.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
The procedure involves a surgeon taking fat deposits from elsewhere on the body and then transferring them to the buttocks. The Kardashians themselves regretted the procedure in the end, with Kim recently admitting that she'd stopped having her top-ups. The procedure is massively popular.
I've seen that. Kim Kardashian basically came to an interview and was like, I regret having this and that, so I'm gonna remove it or something. So I think she doesn't have it anymore. But yeah, that's true.
Okay. It's not okay though, it's not, you know?
If it goes wrong, people can get nasty
very
infections and
dangerous.
sometimes require surgery
Very
to remove the
dangerous too.
implants. Or if the fat gets into the bloodstream, it can actually cause embolisms and blockages to vital organs. 1 in every 4,000 people die as a result of the complications, which is what led to the UK banning it in 2018. Eventually, they reversed the decision in 2022 after bringing in new safety regulations, but there's still a whole world of unlicensed practitioners performing a different version of the procedure. While they're not allowed to perform the surgical version with the potentially fatal side effects, they're still allowed to blindly inject people with artificial substances. It's not like the UK's ban really did anything anyway. The people who were determined enough to get it done were freely able to just go abroad to places like Turkey or Mexico, where the procedure is completely legal and often mostly unregulated and far cheaper. Even today, there's countless adverts for this all over Facebook and Instagram. But nothing has promoted plastic surgery and made the world more plastic and fake than it's ever been, like Instagram. How did an innocent photo sharing website become the money-making machine it is today? The answer is Mark Zuckerberg. You see, Zuck's vision for a social media business was a lot different compared to Kevin Systrom or Mike Krieger. While they were Facebook, he had already demonstrated his true feelings towards his users. While he's rejected that the film The Social Network was true in his account of his website FaceMash.
Right, like they just can't wrap their head around the idea that someone might build something because they like building things.
The evidence shows that it wasn't that far off. Articles from Harvard newspapers show how he plundered Harvard's registers for pictures of people's faces. He then used these to create a website where people could rank each other on attractiveness, while the backend secretly assigned them their own rating out of 10. While it was quickly shut down, the stunt informed the future development of Facebook to a massive degree. Facebook did the same thing in turning its users into the product, and engagement for users, whilst plundering all the possible data they could find, and then selling.
And I'm saying that though, but like me myself, I'm kind of proud too, because I post on media and that's my job, kind of. So I'm the product. Like I am, you know, posting photos, I'm doing this and that. So if you want to think about it, I'm kind of fucked in that way.
Facebook into one of the biggest companies in the planet almost overnight. But already by the early 2010s, and Zuckerberg knew deep down that Facebook would be on the way out at the end of the decade, as he was failing to capture the next generation
Yeah,
and was losing out to
definitely.
younger,
Dead.
more organic apps like Instagram.
who
Meanwhile,
uses
things weren't
Facebook
amazing
right
at
now?
Instagram either.
My
Sure,
grandma,
growth
my
was
mom,
solid and the
maybe,
business
but
was
my
doing
dad,
well, but after
that's
2
it.
years
Company with only 13 employees bought today by Facebook for $1 billion.
At first, it seemed like they made the right choice. Kevin and Mike were still semi-independent, and they were free to grow the app however they wanted. And through the intelligent use of their new resources, Instagram had exploded in popularity. Within a year, they hit 50 million users, then 100 million a few months afterwards.
Wow, that's
and this
crazy.
all
That
came
is
at a
insane.
cost. Because it wasn't
I think
long
everybody
before
has
Mark
Instagram
came
these
in to
days,
slowly
right?
force
Even
the
my
founders
mom
out,
has it
along with
now.
their original principles.
Like, I refuse to
Changes
think
that
this man
happened
is
when
real.
Zuckerberg took over Instagram were far more subtle. In 2014, Instagram added a whole suite of different editing tools. The app went from a place to post filtered pictures of your real life into a showroom for the best looking photos of yourself that you could possibly
That's true.
create. By 2016, they made it so algorithms would decide what photos the app would show you. Instead of giving you a timeline of the photos that your friends had posted, Instagram would only show what it thought you would engage
Yeah.
with the most, laying the groundwork for the addictive design that Facebook had already mastered. When Facebook began pushing for location tracking, it was the final straw for Kevin and Mike. They hated the direction the app was taking.
Yeah,
They saw that
that's-
Zuckerberg was using their app as a
crazy.
machine that turned people's addictions into a weapon against humanity. They thought that Zuck's push for maximum engagement would lead to some of the worst problems that we see today in society. The environment on Instagram was now a constant competition to get the most followers and the most likes on your photos, always having to look the best you possibly could for the algorithm,
That's
with the
true.
aid of Instagram's inbuilt Photoshop. Unlike the founders, Zuckerberg
Like, honestly, right now, no one takes a photo at the moment on Instagram and then just post it without any filter. It's never going to be that way anymore, because now it's just I take 20, 50 photos and then I'm like, okay, let me see. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, this one's perfect. And then I'm gonna like retouch the photo. If it's somebody in the background that I don't want in the background, I remove that person, etc. I'm not saying retouch your body, but the background, the colors, just changing colors, like putting a little bit of saturation so you are not super pale. It's crazy. No one really takes a photo now and posts it anymore. So what it was an app to be able to basically just kind of share what was happening at the moment, that's just not anymore.
plastic surgery was still a niche industry up until this point. It was only reserved for medical purposes. Hollywood
Wait,
actors
what was that?
and trophy wives.
Oh,
it wasn't nearly
no.
as common as it was today, but all of this changed with the arrival of Instagram in the early 2010s. Almost overnight, we saw a rapid transformation in how people presented themselves online and the images of people we see. Now, we've already discussed what the Kardashians and other celebrities would do to get the perfect picture. After the surgeries, camera angles, and
Okay, but that's quite different though, because they are models, I'll say. So like it's doomed still, and I get it and I understand that, but they're also models. So I'm feeling like it's understandable that they have photo shoots because it's for magazines and then they post that content on IG too, right? Or am I tripping? Could be tripping. I don't know.
brushing, the final image is barely recognizable as the person it depicts. Instagram puts this power into the hands of the people. With the high-powered camera in people's
Oh,
pockets,
okay, my bad. Okay, my bad.
kids, they could take what would have been a normal photo, add a filter and some Photoshop to it, and create a vision of perfection. All the little flaws and blemishes that make people human got ironed out. Now nearly anyone
blurred.
could achieve the level of unrealistic perfection
Yeah.
that graced magazine covers for years. On its own,
Definitely
this
true.
would have been troubling. For decades, people worried about the negative effect on people's self-esteem and self-image that beauty magazines and Hollywood had. But Instagram took this to the next level. 100 timesing this problem by turning it into a global competition with millions of fans and billions of
That's
dollars on the
crazy.
line for the winners. So of course, it wasn't long before people realized that to win this game, you had to go as far as possible. For the Instagram
no, I don't
algorithm
wanna
to
see
bless
that.
you,
I
you
just am
had
so
to do
oppressive to
whatever it
this.
took. The more focused on your image you were, the more money and popularity you could get as an influencer. Constantly being dangled over you, your feed showing you all these people sucked into the same Instagram algorithm, tapping into all your primal needs, playing into men's sexual urges, and for everybody's desire for fame and attention. It became about selling the illusion of perfection. For a successful influencer, every photo pushed this narrative a bit further forward. They showcased their perfect body.
Okay, I can say something about myself, and it's that my photos are not edited at all. I just post like The link will be in the wherever comment section. I don't even know where, but you can go check it out. I am not editing any photos. I'm really just posting like wherever. You can tell because you can see pimples, you can see blemishes, you can see everything. I'm just saying that they're just selling these impossible and reachable standards of beauty that I just will never be able to, get to that like. And I don't want to. Like, that's the thing. I don't want to, because I learned working on media for a long time, because I started working on social media with 16 years old. I learned that you gotta like understand that all you see is fake. Nothing is real anymore. So you gotta keep that in mind.
Expect models, the people who are selected by society as the best looking people in the world, to have the least problems with critiquing their own appearance. But in fact, it's the opposite. Over 40% struggle with body dysmorphia and disordered eating. But this was just for models.
I actually shouldn't say this, but I had a friend. She's a model. She's from London. And she told me once that she lost her period because to be in 10 size, and she lost her period. She was very sick, actually. So
these kinds of people whose entire livelihoods depended on their image. But in the last few years, Instagram has globalized this toxic mindset because of the results of this grand competition for visual perfection. All of the perfect illusions posted by influencers online were eaten up by the hundreds of millions of users Instagram gained in just a few short years. Some parts of Instagram culture, like using filters and photoshopping your selfies, entered the mainstream and affected the rest of the internet. It all had the effect of making everyone subconsciously disappointed with their own comparatively boring lives. If you weren't part of the influencer elite, then your life looked worse than the ones you'd see online. Over time, this has led to a huge rise in insecurity, mental illnesses, and body dysmorphia amongst young people in particular. Kardashians would gain hundreds of millions of followers on Instagram and then promote their makeup lines, making billions in the process. But for some of these Instagram-fueled insecurities, there was only one way to really change it. If you wanted a bigger butt like the models on Instagram, a slimmer waistline, bigger boobs, or for guys a better jawline, a better face, plastic surgery won't fix your insecurities. After one procedure is over, something else pops up that needs to be fixed. Realistically, even if you don't mind plastic surgery, it's still better in moderation. A few touch-ups could be seen as a positive thing if it doesn't lead to more insecurity, but the beauty standards that Instagram was pushing didn't push people towards moderation. Instead, they made everyone else want to look the same. And the more of your friends that got plastic surgery, the more of your idols that got surgery, the bigger the desire you'd have yourself for getting surgery. People call it the Instagram face, characterized by perfect skin, luscious and full lips, sharp cheekbones, and long eyelashes. It's become what millions of young women around the world dream of having. Of course, it's only possible with surgery, Botox, and Photoshop, and the world will move on to a different beauty standard before long. But this hasn't stopped people from trying to achieve this illusion. It's especially noticeable in celebrities, and promoted everywhere on Instagram's algorithm. Whether or not plastic surgery is involved, tons of models, singers, and movie stars have slowly changed their image to match the Instagram template. And even teenagers are much more susceptible to the coordinated attack on your self-image that Instagram delivers. While the Instagram face doesn't really bear any relation to people's natural faces, it is similar to someone who's in their early to late 20s. All the teenagers browsing Instagram and wishing they looked that good attempted to get procedures that made them look older rather than younger. This is the reason why plastic surgery and cosmetic procedures are growing fastest amongst people under 30, and even faster.
Oh, wait. So you can get surgery. So wait, you can get surgery with 13... wait, that's new. You can get surgery with 13 to like 19 years old? Like, okay, 19, I think it's okay. But 13? 13 years old. No, bro, that's fucked up.
Teenagers to prevent future wrinkles, not just fatten the ones already there.
You're telling me 13 years old in America are getting surgery, like plastic surgery, to prevent wrinkles?
I mean, it's truly insane that people are trying to fix a false problem that hasn't even happened yet because of one app. Another far more disturbing procedure is buccal fat removal. It's been all the rage on Instagram for quite a while now because it matches the current beauty standards online. Even if you don't know what it really is, you'll recognize the effects. In the procedure, a surgeon makes cuts inside the mouth and removes what's called the buccal fat pad, which rests under the cheekbones. The result is far more prominent cheekbones and that sunken, hollow look that's all the rage right now. It makes you look far older and your face look thinner. but it's not without giant risks. The procedure itself can be painful and dangerous, but as people get older, their faces naturally get thinner and the natural layer of fat on your face gets less prominent. It's an irreversible procedure. All of the people getting it might regret it in 10 years down the line, unless they were going for that skeletal look in the first place. The industry is booming there now. The amount of people getting surgery increased by 600% between 2009 and 2018. This huge demand has led to a sharp spike in unlicensed and dangerous plastic surgery that's led to some truly horrifying results. And what you're seeing here right now is the work of a mysterious figure known online as Dr. Kim.
Hell no, you got me fucked up. What is that? What was that?
And what you're seeing here right now is the work of a mysterious figure known online as Dr. Kim. He came to prominence on TikTok after these videos showing his patients' uncanny transformations went viral. They're clear examples of what can go horribly wrong with plastic surgery.
It looks like
the facelifts are so tight, it looks completely unnatural, and people are paying a fortune for this. Their natural beauty has vanished under an artificial glaze, and you'll do anything to achieve that sense of perfection. Even going to unlicensed butchers like Dr. Kim and
that's
tough
the worst part. We actually, this is another point of this. We literally making these videos viral. So they're making money out of this. Like, social media is fucked up.
Series investigating these images has led to some really dark stories, as it appears that Dr. Kim is not one person but a pseudonym used by a shady unlicensed plastic surgery company called Shanghai Huzhong Medical Beauty Clinic. And from the evidence he gathered, they've been accused of using expired drugs, have been sued by multiple people and companies, and they've even trafficked counterfeited drugs to use in their practice. Whilst these pictures definitely aren't indicative of China's entire beauty industry, they do show where criminals can turn a profit from exploiting it. All the normal, even handsome people you see in the before pictures weren't happy with how they looked because their culture made them insecure. It opened the door to criminals looking to make an easy buck, with no regard for what their victims will have to live with for the rest of their lives. And it seems like the West is moving further towards this point of cultural conformity with the help of Instagram, the biggest promoter of these artificial beauty standards. Sure, there's more virtue signaling than ever. Everyday.
Okay, get it. A few filters like those, like, you know, like this ones, I don't feel it's bad. It's just like changing hair color, just adding some lashes, maybe some blush. That's fine. The point is that, you know, and also because it says it's a filter, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's okay, but just changing your face and doing all of this and then acting like you basically never got anything done, or basically that you've never, ever used a filter or do something. That's just fucked up, because then the little girls that watch your photos are gonna be like, oh, why don't I look like that? And it's impossible to have a thin waist and a fucking, you know, crazy bunda, you know what I mean? Or like a crazy ass or a thick ass or whatever. Like, it's just impossible. Like, maybe 1 in a million, it's impossible. You can work out and get that body though.
So of these artificial beauty standards.
I'm not
sure, there's more virtue signaling than ever. Everyday corporate media outlets tell people that differences are good and that we should love our own features and characteristics, whatever they might be. But at the same time, it does seem like we're going in the opposite direction. The pressures to have a perfect body and face is so high. Nearly everyone on TV and in films looks pretty much the same, all completely plastic, fake, and hollow. It doesn't matter what the context is in Hollywood now. If your shirt comes off in a movie, you need a six-pack and you need to be on steroids. Dating apps and our image-focused culture, your face needs to pass the swipe test before you can even play the game. More and more men and women get pushed out of the system, rejected because they no longer conform well enough to the modern Instagram face beauty standard and its male counterpart. And so much exposure to inhuman perfection on Instagram has warped people's standards and made a whole generation of lonely outcasts. There's even people talking about an incel revolution nowadays, as more and more people get pushed to the sidelines without any romantic interests, while at the same time, another huge section of people are becoming literally plastic. That's why you should never expose yourself to the toxic sludge that Instagram promotes, as every time you go on the app, you're subtly, subconsciously becoming more and more insecure. Disconnecting from Instagram's twisted beauty standards means that you can actually truly appreciate people that the rest of the world might not even see.
Well, that was something really good. I just feel like a few filters, it's not bad, like on stories or on TikTok, like just some color because you feel like you're so pale and so you want to have a little color, or some lashes, some blush. I don't feel like that's a problem. But when it comes to terms and, you know, it's just so terrible that they're photoshopping the photos to stream the point that it's just not a human anymore. And it's so sad. My take on it, kind of. So I hope you guys like it. And yeah, thank you for watching. This was a long video, by the way. So I'll post it, I guess. Probably, yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, this was a good video. I actually highly recommend this channel. This guy has good videos. Like, his videos are really, really good. Literally. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.